Good evening, folks. This is Deb, and this is my longest workday of the week, and I'm really beat. Uh, and I got a couple of things I have to take care of before I go to bed, but I just wanted to make some general observations on day three of Donald Trump's hellscape here. And while I don't have time to go through all the executive orders, we'll be talking about them probably starting tomorrow. But I want to talk about a couple of posts I saw today, which really kind of set me off. So this is number one. I'm going to read it to you, but I'm not going to give you the guy's name because I'd be embarrassed if I was saying this. I'm Hispanic and voted for Trump. Nobody told me this dude hated Mexicans. All he's talking about is deporting Mexicans, bruh. WTF. Now, somebody says back to him, surely you're joking. And then he responds yet again with, no, I don't keep up with politics much, so I wasn't aware of a mass Mexican deportation. Let me just say this. Donald Trump has been shitting all over Mexicans for, I don't know, at least 10 years. He's been calling them criminals and rapists. When he talks about, in a very ugly way, the crisis at the border, which there isn't a crisis at the border, but it doesn't matter whether it's made up or real, when he's dumping on those people, calling them criminals coming into our country, he's not talking about Canada. He's talking about the Mexican border. The Mexican border. When he talks about deporting 11 million undocumented people, he's not talking about deporting Canadians. He's talking about deporting people from Mexico. And he even wants to send people who didn't come here from Mexico back to Mexico. So, just an observation, folks. Americans gotta stop looking at their phones, stop reading memes, and get with the program. When you're gonna vote for somebody, you've got to at least know what the man stands for. You know, I keep saying that voting is a right, but actually voting is a responsibility. It's a responsibility you have as a citizen of the country in which you live. And as I have said before, we are 31st in the world in voter turnout. 90 million voters stayed home in November. What could have happened had they voted? We may not be here. So it's not just a right, it's your civic duty. It is your civic duty to understand politics, to know what bills are coming up. It's your civic duty to know how to read bills. Every bill that's filed can be found on Ballotpedia, whether it's a federal bill or a state bill. That is your responsibility as American citizens. To be informed is to be armed. And to be aware, not to be asleep at the fucking switch. This stuff isn't difficult. If you've got time to sit in your phone and look at kitty and puppy videos on TikTok, you've got time to figure out exactly the state of the nation. What bills being filed in your state? What senators filing them? What representatives filing them? What the bill stands for? What it means? You don't even have to figure it out. You can go to Ballotpedia and it'll tell you exactly what it is. But this is stuff you have to do. Now, here's part two of tonight's little rant. I open up Facebook the minute I get in the door, sit down to eat my dinner, and this is the post I see. I'm paraphrasing here because I did not copy it, all right? Something to the effect of, please tell me who's going to stop this. I don't know how much more I can take. We're on day three. Day three. Okay? And when are people going to understand that we are part of stopping him? Us, the American people. Right now, there is nothing stopping you from emailing or calling your senators and congressmen and telling them you want them to stand against the Republican Party. You want them to obstruct the Republican Party. If you don't talk to them, they don't know what you want. They are not following you on social media. I'm going to keep saying this. We are part of this process. Why is it that Americans sit here and wait for someone to come down and save them? This is our country. We have to do something about what's going on here. Besides post on social media. And when we post on social media, we have to be factual. We have to know exactly what we're talking about. So let me clear up another misconception that's out there. This latest executive order that, rescinded Joe Biden's action on negotiating drug prices through Medicare. Okay? It does not affect the insulin price. The insulin price is still what Joe Biden set it at, a maximum of $35. It does not affect that. What it does is stop the whole program going forward. In other words, Medicare will not be able to negotiate any other drug prices. He's killed the program. Whether or not he takes action on insulin will have to be done separately. We don't know that he's going to do that. That is not affected as of right now. As the other thing that's not affected yet is the $2,000 maximum for the year. This is a whole separate thing. People have to understand what's going on before they jump on it. Okay? False information on either side of the aisle isn't the solution to our problems. We've got enough of that shit going on. Okay? What the executive order Trump signed does is stop Joe Biden's program, which means that no other drug prices will be lowered going forward. Period. End of story. So, folks, let's understand something. This is a hellscape. We don't need to make it worse, but we can make it better. And we all play a role in stopping Donald Trump from doing what he's doing. As I have said, you have got to make your voices heard, and they have to be heard by your congressmen and your senators. And you know what? You all get phones because, I watch people on them all goddamn day long watching videos on TikTok of things that should never be cooked. They just don't look right. But I'm digressing. If you've got time to look at that shit and videos of little kids swearing or videos of dogs and cats jumping up and down, then you've certainly got time to educate yourself about what's going on in this country. Make time, okay? That's your duty as a citizen. I will talk to you all tomorrow, I promise.